Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2022. Really good, solid year in my opinion. Really had a lot of fun with a lot of movies that came out this year. Um, but yeah, before I get into naming all the honourable mentions and getting into the main list, I just want to say that the movies I've picked are, in accordance with the dates on IMDb. Everything that I've chosen is a 2022 movie according to that website. There's a few movies obviously that came out early this year as I'm filming this, towards the tail end of February 2023. There's a few movies that got released here in the UK this year that do count as 2022 movies, so I am including those. And one movie I want to give a shout out to that I wanted to include but couldn't because IMDb classes it as a 2021 movie, and that's The Black Phone. That was a movie I really enjoyed but couldn't include it on the list because I have to stick by the rules I've set. But yeah, again, gonna reel off the honourable mentions this year. All of these movies did provide me with some sort of enjoyment. Some I liked better than others. These are the movies that just didn't make the list for me. So yeah, Avatar 2, Way of Water, I thought was visually great, but the story I'd seen all before. Babylon didn't make the list for me, but I really enjoyed the film. Same with Megan as well. Really enjoyed that, but didn't make the list for me. The Whale, Brendan Fraser was outstanding in that film, but I don't think it's one I'm going to revisit a whole lot. Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, was one I enjoyed. Tar, Kate Blanchett. Bullet Train didn't make the list. After Sun, Elvis was a movie that nearly got on the list as well. Really ropey start, but a strong finish. Don't Worry Darling was one I enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't really like that film, but I got a kick out of it. Where the Crawdads Sing, visually great. Barbarian, one of the best horror movies as well. Same with Smile, didn't make the list for me. Enjoyed both those. Bones and All, Fall and Nope didn't make the list for me either. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent didn't get on. Scream, or Scream 5, was another one I enjoyed. Decision to Leave, Violent Night, Death on the Nile, Terrifier 2, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Emily the Criminal, Prey, The Bad Guys, Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, Weird, the Ali Yankovic story. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but Halloween Ends was one I enjoyed. Ambulance, Turning Red, 3,000 Years of Longing, Hustle, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Brian and Charles, Clerks 3, Hatching, Chip and Dale, and finally Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. All of those honourable mentions, really enjoyed them all on some level. I think Avatar 2 probably being my least favourite. But yeah, those are all of my honourable mentions. So yeah, going to kick it off with number 15 for me, which is Jackass Forever. I had a blast with this movie. It was great to see the surviving characters come back. I love all those cast members. They're just absolutely hilarious. And the movies are, no exception. They're so funny. This was just side-splitting laughter from start to finish. My only real complaint with the movie was that it felt too short. It just seemed to fly by, the runtime with this film. But they always say time flies when you're having fun, and that was exactly what I was having with Jackass Forever. Just absolutely hysterical. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, just a fun time. Really dug this movie. Absolutely hysterical. So that is my number 15 pick, Jackass Forever. Coming up next at number 14 is a movie that arrived for me in the post a couple of days ago. I went to see this at the cinema, and yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. That is Steven Spielberg's The Fablemans. Yeah, this was a really good movie. Really enjoyed it. Had a good time with this one. The only thing I didn't really like about it was Michelle Williams' character. She really grated on me. I just found her borderline annoying. But the rest of the movie really worked for me. Really enjoyed it. Really had a great time with it. Great cast. There's a cameo in this movie that I didn't pick up on who it was when I went to see it at the cinema. Watched the 4K the other night, and it sort of dawned on me, is that who I think it is? And I IMDb'd it, and turns out it was. But yeah, without sort of naming who that person was, yeah, really surprised to see them in the movie. But yeah, it's a good, solid movie. I really enjoyed it. Was better on rewatch, I think, as well. And yeah, I just think it's a good Spielberg movie. So yeah, that is number 14, The Fablemans. Next up at number 13 for me is a movie I've seen on a lot of people's other lists. This has either come, top 5, and for some people it's been number 1 as well. But yeah, it's 13 on my list, and that is The Batman. I thought the movie was pretty good, really good. I think it's a solid Batman movie. I think it's a bit overlong, if I'm honest, and I think the third act doesn't hold up as well as I wanted it to. But I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed what this movie was doing with the Riddler. Felt like this, they were taking a lot of inspiration from Zodiac. And yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Robert Pattinson, I thought was good in the role. I was definitely one of those people who would be completely against him playing Batman on paper, but in final execution, I think it worked. He certainly, didn't take me out of the movie, but yeah, I had fun with this film. Bit overlong for me, but yeah, I did enjoy it. It's made my top list, so yeah, just a bit overlong for me. But yeah, that is my number 13 pick, The Batman. Next up at number 12 is a movie I watched at Christmas time, and it's a bit of a weird one to watch at Christmas, but yeah, I liked it, and that is The Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah, I thought the concept of this movie was pretty good. Sort of about, these two friends, one of them doesn't want to be friends anymore, and the other one can't understand why, and we can't really understand why either as an audience, but it really does sort of put you in the shoes of both characters. You both sort of, understand each other, why, not really why the situation has arisen, but why, they're doing what they're doing, as it were. And I've got to say, the ending to this movie left me feeling a bit sad, with something that happens. But yeah, it's a weird movie. It's a strange movie, but I dug the ride, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. Definitely. So that is my number 12 pick, The Banshees of Inisherin. Next up at number 11 is a movie for me that I've watched other YouTubers do the top movies of the year, and this one I don't think has been on anyone's list. I do apologise in advance if anyone's watching this and this movie has appeared on your list. But for me, I haven't noticed it on anyone's. And for me, this may be a strange one, but coming in at number 11, Downton Abbey: A New Era. I really had a really good time with this movie. It sort of has two plots running either side from each other in the movie, but one of the plots I was just completely on board with, and I was just really intrigued to see where it was going. Sort of following this film crew that wants to hire Downton Abbey to film a film there, and it's coming at the time, when silent movies were progressing to talkies. And one of the actresses they have is she's a stunning actress, and she's cast obviously for her looks, but when it comes to trying out talking for the first time, she just doesn't have the talent, as it were, to be a speaking actress. And it deals with those problems and those dilemmas that you have to make as filmmakers. And that was the bit of the movie I really was drawn to. I know there's there's a lot of love for the TV show, and I think some people are put off because you may have to watch the TV show to watch the movies. And yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that, but yeah, I do get it. It can be a bit daunting, but I watched the movie and I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, that is my number 11 pick, Downton Abbey: A New Era. Coming in at number 10 for me is Glass Onion, A Knives Out Tale. Yeah, I really like the first one. I sort of see the Knives Out movies as an apology from Rian Johnson for The Last Jedi, because I did not enjoy that film one little bit. And yeah, these are fun movies. I'd say these are whodunits without the whodunit element. Um, yeah, they don't really have, that element that keeps you guessing as to who the killer is, but it does keep you guessing as to where the story's going. These movies definitely have fun, colourful characters, and I really dug the cast in this one as well. Kate Hudson, Ed Norton, Dave Bautista, Daniel Craig. Really enjoyed the cast in this movie, and yeah, this movie was just fun from start to finish. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the opening as well with the puzzle boxes, and yeah, just had an absolute blast with it. So that is my number 10 pick, Glass Onion. Coming up next at number 9, we've got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I watched the Disney Pinocchio as well with Tom Hanks, and for me that movie it didn't work. Putting it politely, it wasn't for me, that film. But this one I thought was just I thought it was great. It took it in a much more interesting direction that I wanted to see, and the animation style was just superb for me. It really did. If I had a criticism about the movie, there's a segment in the film where just Pinocchio just comes across as really annoying. But other than that, really enjoyed the film, really enjoyed the voice cast, and the animation was just stellar, as I said before. And yeah, it was just an interesting, different take, and I love the look of the movie as well. So yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Pinocchio. Coming in at number 8 for me is a war movie from Netflix, and that is All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah, interesting that they sort of made this, from the perspective of the enemy. I was wondering whether or not that was going to work for me, and yeah, the movie did work. I'll definitely say that, and the main draw for me of this movie was the sequence that happens in the middle of the film. Anyone who's seen this will know how great that sequence was. It was just phenomenal. It was Saving Private Ryan-esque for me. And yeah, just I can't really say too much more about this movie. It's what you expect it to be. But when it comes to those sequences, the movie's just phenomenal. It's wonderfully shot, wonderfully acted. And yeah, it's just a great war movie. I think the only test left for this film to take is the test of time, whether it's going to hold up over time. And I think it will. But yeah, it's a great film, and yeah, just not one I'm going to rewatch a hell of a lot, but I really do admire it for the technical aspects. Just a great film overall, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my number 8 pick, All Quiet on the Western Front. Next up at number 7, I'm kind of cheating a little bit here because it's 2 movies, and both these movies were made by the same director, and I had a great time with both of them, to be honest. So the first one we've got is X, and the second one is Pearl. So yeah, I dug both movies. I know a lot of people either prefer one over the other, and it's really interesting to see, really interesting to hear people's takes on these movies. Some people absolutely despise one, they love the other, and yeah, it's interesting to see which one you like and which one you don't. But for me, both of them worked equally for different reasons, and I enjoyed both of them on the same level, but again for different reasons. X was kind of like a love letter to 70s horror. It had this Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe to it, and I really enjoyed the characters in the movie. Really, really dug, the time that we spent with these people. And Pearl, for me, was just a stunning movie with an absolutely flawless performance from Mia Goth. Robbed, in my opinion, of an Oscar nomination. I know the Oscars do not really like horror. which is a shame because that genre provides a lot of great performances in it. But yeah, it's just I do get why the Oscars don't tend to go to horror, because they are limited to who they're aimed at. But yeah, these movies for me, I enjoyed both of them equally, and I just had an absolute blast with them. So yeah, that is X and Pearl. So coming up next at number 6 for me is kind of a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting to like this movie, but I really enjoyed it, and that is The Menu. Yeah, just again, not a perfect movie, but it was just one I gravitated to. I think working in the food industry and going to university, and doing, being around a lot of people on chefing courses, I think it sort of appealed to me on that level. But it had this thriller horror element thrown into it, which I just couldn't resist. And no pun intended, I just thought the movie was absolutely delectable from start to finish. This movie has possibly the best looking cheeseburger in ever put to film. It was just so appetizing and appealing. But yeah, I dug the characters, I dug the cast, I dug the story. Everything about it just looked brilliant for me and just right up my street, and I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Not perfect. I know that this movie can provide some people with some frustrations, which I do understand, I do get, but I was willing to sort of see past them, and they didn't bother me too much. So yeah, that is my number 6 pick, The Menu. Really enjoyed this one. So coming up next at number 5, we have Ron Howard's 13 Lives. Yeah, Ron Howard can be really hit or miss for me. He can create great movies like this, Apollo 13, and yeah, you can just make some duds as well, like The Dilemma and Heart of the Sea. For me, which were just absolutely bang average. But yeah, 13 Lives was great. Viggo Mortensen and Colin Farrell were just great in this movie as these two expert divers who were brought in to help this group of lads who were stuck in this cave try and get out. And yeah, it was just harrowing. The movie was obviously based on a true story, and definitely there were stakes there which made for a good film. You could think like maybe a premise like this could come across as quite boring, but the movie was just made so well that it never did. I was hooked and just wanted to see what would happen next from scene to scene, and yeah, really well acted, great story, and yeah, just entertaining as well. Really enjoyed this film. Thought it was great. Not seen it, do check it out because it is a fantastic film with a fantastic cast, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my number 5 pick, 13 Lives. So coming in at number 4 for me is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie gets an A+ for creativity. It absolutely does. It's just batshit insane with its creativity, and I know for some people that could be a turn off. And yeah, because this movie just overloads you with so much. It throws so much at you with what you're seeing on the screen. And for me, that was what I enjoyed the most. I just enjoyed seeing something different and seeing something unique, which I think this movie definitely is. It's got a great cast and a great premise. Sort of this family who are struggling to try and make ends meet. And yeah, it was really entertaining to boot for me. Really funny. The humor worked, the action worked, the colors, the dialogue, everything in this movie was just enjoyable for me. Really had a blast with it. And yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's definitely possibly the most unique movie of the year. But yeah, it's getting a lot of love, and yeah, if you've not seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out. At least give it a go. I know it may not be for you, but yeah, really enjoyed this one. Had an absolute fun time with it. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Coming in at number 3 is RRR. Yeah, this movie was entertaining to boot from start to finish. I can't say anything more than that. This is just, it had everything. Everything was served up on a plate on this film. Everything you want a movie of this caliber to be. It was just extraordinary. Great story, great acting, great music. Yeah, just everything about the movie. Every frame of this movie was stunning. It was just relentless with its pacing as well. Just absolutely fantastic movie. Really enjoyed this one. Got a bit of a lengthy run time, 3 hours. For me, it just sort of flew by because I was just enjoying the film that much. But yeah, just absolutely entertaining to boot. Really dug it. Yeah, just that's all I can say about it. It was just an absolute treat. This movie, absolute treat for the eyes and ears. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a rewatch. I've only watched it the once, but that was enough for me to, for it to, it ticked a lot of boxes for me. I just had an absolute fun time with it. So yeah, that is RRR coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 for me is a movie by Robert Eggers, and that is The Northman. Yeah, I like his first couple of movies. I like The Witch. I like The Lighthouse. Strange movies. I think they've got they're aimed at a unique, specific target audience. But this one for me is definitely his most accessible movie for audiences. I think. Yeah, just a really cool revenge story and movie that I just really liked. Yeah, Alexander Skarsgård. This is just, he's built like a brick shithouse, and you're absolutely rooting for this guy. With something happened in his past, and he wants to get revenge. That's all I'll say about in terms of the plot without spoiling it. But yeah, I love the look of this movie. I love the shots of this movie. I love the violence in it. It was just again another movie that was an absolute treat in terms of its delivery, and really enjoyed the cast in this as well. Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, and Skarsgård. I think just worked really well in the film. But yeah, like I said, the look of this movie was just absolutely fantastic. It's breathtaking on 4K as well. And yeah, if you've not seen it, do check it out, because it is just it's a brilliant film. Really enjoyed it. I know it can be a little cookie cutter, I think, in terms of the revenge plot. I think some people will complain that they've seen it before. I can't argue or disagree with that. But for me, it worked. I was entertained. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I just thought the movie was stunning. That is my number 2 pick, The Northman. So coming in at number 1 for me is a movie I think that has topped everyone's list, at least not broke into the top 5 or top 3. And it's to no surprise that my number 1 movie of 2022 is Top Gun Maverick. Just touching on the first movie for a little bit. That movie for me is a movie I've always thought that movie was just okay. To be honest, I don't think it's aged well. I think it's cheesier than a cheese board at Christmas. To be honest, it's a product of the times, and like I said, I don't think it's aged well. I wasn't excited in any way, shape, or form for a sequel when it got announced, when the trailers dropped. I just thought, yeah, Top Gun Maverick's a movie I'll get around seeing at some point. Went to the cinema to see it, and I was just completely blown away by what was before me. Yeah, just everything about this movie just looked brilliant. The story's very basic, but it works for the film. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. It doesn't need to be, super gripping. With what this movie has in terms of plot, it works with it really well. I think this movie as well, the way it's shot, it's the closest people like me will probably ever be to, being in the cockpit of one of these planes. The movie just makes you feel like you're there. you're flying around, you're doing all these stunts. The movie puts you in that position, and it's breathtaking. It's visually stunning. I can't say any more than that about it. Just as well, you know, but the movie was delayed and delayed because I think Tom Cruise was just adamant that this film was going to get a cinema release, and thank God he stuck to his guns with it because it needed it, it deserved it. It was just one of the best cinema experiences in terms of watching a film because of how well the movie was made, and it's just a treat. The movie is just an absolute delight from start to finish, and it was my favourite film of 2022. Yeah, it's my number one of that year. So yeah, can't say much more than that. That is my number one pick, Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, those are my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2022. Yeah, gonna leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.